Welcome to the Determined Mom Show, the only marketing podcast dedicated to guiding mom CEOs into tranquility, wealth, and multiplying those precious moments. Welcome to episode 181 of the Determined Mom Show. Today, we want to talk about the 5 tools that every business owner should be using. So no matter what your business, no matter how you run it, no matter, what kind of business, all of these 5 tools are going to work for you and going to make things easier. So that is why you should be using them. So let's talk about the first one. Keywords everywhere. Every single meeting that I have where I share my screen with a client, they are always asking me, what is that tool? Can I use that tool? Is it expensive? All of these things. It is crazy inexpensive. It used to be free, but it's a Google Chrome plugin. And what you do is you install it and then you pay, I think like $10 for 100,000 credits. And what a credit does is it allows you to enter a search term into your Google search bar. And whatever that term is, it's going to tell you on the right-hand side in a little panel, any related searches. It's going to show you the traffic. You can choose from like 30 days, 7 days. You can choose from a year. You can choose from multiple years. It'll show you the search volume for that particular term. And it's also going to show you related terms and their search volume. You can only find their search volume if you click to use your credits. So what it's going to do is use your credits. So if you have like 5 results, then it's going to use 5 credits. In the years that I've been doing this, I have never gone over 100,000 credits in a year, and I do it every day. I use it really heavily every day. So I would highly suggest investing that $10 into the Google Chrome extension called Keywords Everywhere. The second tool is going to be Google Analytics. And I know I keep talking about Google Analytics, but it's so important. The reason that it's important is because it will help you to figure out how your website is performing, where your traffic is coming from, what you should be focusing on, if your campaigns on social media are working or not, and all of those other things. I mean, it's just such a powerful tool for you to be able to figure out what's working, what's not, and how much traffic you have right now, especially if you're at the beginning of a campaign or at the beginning of, a big push or launch or something like that. You really need to know what the baseline is for your website. You need to know where you're starting, so then that way you can track it as the campaign goes on. The next, and this is my favorite, of course, the next tool that you should be using is Google Business Profile. So this used to be called Google My Business, and it is an extremely powerful tool that is absolutely free, just like Google Analytics, and it helps you to get in front of the actual people that you want to be in front of that are ready to buy. That is the biggest difference between Google My Business, or Google Business Profile, as it's now called, and any other social media platform. You may be in front of people that you think might want to buy, but let's face it, most of us have asked all of our friends and family to like our business page. We are just trying to get those followers, and they're not necessarily people that are actually interested in our product or our service. So that is a really important thing to remember on social media, because likes do not equal customers. And on Google, clicks and views and all of those things do equal customers, because they are actually searching for the terms that you need to show up for in order to sell. So that is why Google My Business is so powerful. It is absolutely the best free tool online, and it is absolutely the best free tool that's underutilized online as well. So if you have not claimed your Google My Business or Google Business Profile, you have to do that today. Number 4 on the list is a scheduling tool and a digital calendar, or I guess, I don't know what you would call it, online calendar. I use Google Calendar and Acuity. A lot of people use Calendly. There's so many different other scheduling tools out there, but whatever you use, just make sure you're using it. Put all of your personal information, your personal appointments, block everything out that you can't have a meeting during that time. And then literally just hook it up to your Acuity, your Calendly, and make it easy for people to meet with you. It is incredibly hard to go back and forth on emails, on the phone, in person even. Let's say you attend an in-person networking meeting and you're trying to figure out when would be a good time. All you have to do is literally text that person your link. You could even create a QR code for your meeting link on your phone, show that person the picture, they scan it with their phone, and bam, they're scheduling a meeting with you. It shouldn't be hard for people to schedule a meeting with you and talk about business or talk about networking or any of those things. So if you are a business owner and you're not using a calendar system and a scheduling tool, then I highly recommend you start that today. The fifth and final tool is a review generation tool. So what this tool does is it actually helps you to get more reviews from your existing clients when they're leaving, or there's actually a sweet spot in there depending on your industry. And I'm going to give an example of a hair salon. So hair salons, the best time for them to send a review request to their, client, if you will, is the same day of the haircut, because they have a haircut high. There is a high that anybody has right after they get their haircut and right after they get their hair done. And it is just that day, because we all know that the next day our hair looks totally different and we can't do it the same way as our stylist did it. So that's why it's really important to figure out when that high is, that purchase high for your client. So if it's a new car, maybe it's like on Monday, the Monday after they buy it, when they're driving to work and they get to work and they see your request and they're like, oh yeah, I love my car. It's so fun. I had a great weekend in it, and now I'm driving to work for the first time. It's amazing. You have to really think about your client, their buying experience, and think about when that sweet spot is for you to ask for a review. The second part of that is you need to automate this process so you're not taxing you and taxing your staff with, an additional task that is not really necessary to do manually. There's Zapier that can help to integrate with review generation tools, and it will make it so easy to collect reviews. And the great thing about review generation tools, at least the one that we have in our agency, is that it also does review gating. So if you have someone, I'm going to use a hair salon again, who had a bad experience, if you're using this process, what's going to happen is if they rate you 1 through 3 stars, you're actually going to get an email with the information that what they didn't like about the service. So they're going to tell you directly instead of getting a link to leave a review for you. If they leave a 4 or a 5 star, then they'll get a link to go right to Google and leave you a review. This is really, really important. The reason that it's important is because it helps you to stop getting negative reviews. It also helps you to give your clients better service, figure out what you're doing wrong before they tell the world what you did wrong. It allows you to fix things before that Google review is left. So Google review generation tools are extremely important. And it can also be called a reputation management tool because it is really managing your reputation online. And reviews are so important, and we'll talk about that in another episode coming up. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you are using all 5 of these tools. Talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Determined Mom Show. We appreciate you, and we would love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. This will help us reach as many other moms as we can. Don't forget to download your 10 things you should be doing to get more clients from Google Search Guide at rebrand.ly/Google10.